Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the Ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
The late, great cowboy philosopher Will Rogers said this: good judgment comes from experience, and a lot of that comes from bad judgment. How true. Here comes Kate Smith and God Bless America, followed by a patriot to call in today with our Pledge of Allegiance. Be proud. Give us a call. Good morning. Good morning. And a good morning to you and yours. Zeb at the Ranch right here on a Thursday, August 16th. My, good morning. Kind of hazy, smoky outside. And, of course, Zeb at the Ranch is brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. If you're getting ready for a road trip, you'd better stop in and see them today, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. And, of course, some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Right now, let's go to the phone line and have our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Good morning.
Go ahead, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
How are you this morning?
Oh, I'm doing okay. How are you doing?
Well, I am just peachy. I hope you enjoy your day, and thank you for sharing the pledge with us.
And thank you, and you have an awesome day.
I will. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Nice lady right there. Very nice lady. And right now, let's go to the weather forecast brought to you by K&R Rental. And they're located at 256 South, 600 west of Heyburn. Hello, Roger and the crew getting there early in the morning. Throwing the doors open at 7 o'clock saying, hello, world, come on in for all the best of tools and equipment you need to finish any construction project. They've got all the air compressors, boys, to clean out your combines. They've got everything over there for long and short-term rental. K&R Rental on the Burley Paul Highway in Heyburn, 678-3122. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Here's a look at your weather for this Thursday for Zeb at the Ranch, and it's going to be smoky for today, sunny and hot. We are expecting a high of 91. Tonight we're expecting some isolated showers and or thunderstorms. It's going to be smoky as well. Mostly clear skies with a low right near 58. Winds out of the southwest right around 11 miles an hour, but those winds could gust as high as 24 miles an hour, which is also putting us into a fire weather watch, especially for Friday. We are expecting a 40% chance of showers and most likely thunderstorms by tomorrow afternoon. Areas of smoke, mostly sunny skies with a high of 87. For Friday night, looks like a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Going to be windy as well. Gusts as high as 25 miles an hour, and we're expecting a low of 54. So fingers crossed we get some rain showers so we can help out those firefighters. That's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
And I appreciate it and reiterate what she just said. Thank you, Gina. And the weather brought to you by K&R Rental at 256 South, 600 west of Heyburn. And the number to call, Roger and the crew, 678-3122 for long and short-term rentals of tools and equipment. K&R Rental. Hey, how about Merv May? Come on in here for a minute.
All right. Hey, good set of steer calves there. Here to get all 31, 31, 31.
That's the voice and the chant of the world's best auctioneer, Merv May, over at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. The sale that works for you. Merv May, Cade Rogge, Lance Udy. Sale time today at 10:30. And I talked to Merv yesterday afternoon. Josh Williamson of Rogerson bringing in 25 head of really good yearlings, about 700 pounds. Brian Kincaid up there at Connor Creek. Hello, Brian. Bringing in some nice 500-pound calves today. Joe Gonzalez over to Paul. Hello, Joe. 22 head of Holstein steers weighing in at about 700 to 800 pounds. Butcher cows coming down from Acme Dairy, Funk Dairy, Antelope Hills Dairy, and TLK Dairy. As I said, sale time is going to be 10:30, and the number to call for more sale information or cattle consignments, 678-9411. Burley Livestock Sale Yard. Sale today at 10:30. Merv, sell those steers.
All right, hey, good set of steer calves there. Here to get all 31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, 32, 2.5, 3.5, 134, 4.5, 5.5, 130, 550, 135, and I selling $35. Zeb Mel gets bottom again.
I'll tell you what, Merv, thank you very much. We've got a full plate here today. Wheels, if you can boost the feed line to me just a touch, I'd sure appreciate it, whatever you can do. And I want to remind everybody we've got all kinds of things. On Thursday, it's kind of a potpourri of everything. And at 8:30 this morning, we're even going to be talking to a real live one-armed bandit. Yeah. At 8:30. And then we've got the Cassia Regional Hospital. We've got Chamber Report this morning. We've got Cassia County School Days. Political analyst Rita Ramsey's going to be on the program a little bit later on this morning. And then at 10:30, we've got her back on the air. Everybody has called me and said, please get the car coach back on the program from New York. And that's Lauren Fix. And she's going to talk to us about everything, electric cars, and talk to us about the enhancement of more possible ethanol and gasoline, and all kinds of things. So tune in at 10:30 for that this morning. Want to remind you, too, about our friends over at Ramsey Heating and Electric. Excellent people serving you. They're start at 7:30 in the morning, go till 5, Monday through Friday. Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley for all. This isn't brag, this is a fact. All your heating, cooling, and electrical needs. And they buy in quantities and can pass that price saving on to the customers. So get a hold of them today. Almost 6 decades of serving you. Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Today, the Thursday edition of the Cassia County Fair and Rodeo for 2018. Lots and lots of 4-H and FFA judging and shows today. And tonight, the Man Up Crusade at the PRCA Rodeo starting at 8 p.m. Don't miss that. Tomorrow, on Friday, more of the great 4-H and FFA judging shows. Horse races at 1 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. And again, tomorrow night on Friday night, the second perf of the PRCA Rodeo. Lots and lots of fun things happening at your Cassia County Fair. Want to also remind you, too, about a great place to eat. Yeah, buddy, let me tell you, I talked to you about Ramsey's a minute ago. They're not serving food, but Denny's Restaurant is America's Diner. There, we'll get that clarified. 611 North Overland in Burley with Thomas and the entire staff, serving you with a big smile on their face and excellent food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner anytime, all the time. You're going to love it. I guarantee it. And next week, on Thursday, on the 23rd, we're going to be there for Zeb's Lunch Bunch for our August edition. Going to be a lot of fun, always is. Denny's Restaurant is America's Diner, and 2 locations serving you at 611 North Overland in Burley and 291 Pole Line Road in Twin Falls. I'm just going to be very blunt about this morning because I have absolute, complete disdain for this young man. Colin Kaepernick, where are you? Where are you hiding? You, young man, started this vile and filthy status that right now is running rampant all through our society. You created a cancer of disrespect for our great country and our flag. You are a spoiled, stupid jock that created a movement that will affect and infect future generations. I was so upset yesterday when I heard about an 11-year-old girl named Mariana. She took a knee against our Pledge of Allegiance. And then, coming to her defense, yes, I'm going to really blast this situation, Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton sent out a tweet that said basically, keep up the good work, Mariana. Here is an 11-year-old girl that absolutely does not understand, and please don't give me the crybaby attitude of, oh, she's got a right to express her opinion. She doesn't know an opinion. At 11 years of age, give me a break. But she's just being part of the crowd, probably helped and aided by very liberal parents, takes a knee to show disrespect to our Pledge of Allegiance, and a former Secretary of State that ran for the presidency and, thank the good Lord above, was defeated. Hillary Clinton advocates that she keep up the good work, Mariana. And if that doesn't make matters worse for you this morning to think about, Governor Cuomo of New York yesterday, giving a speech, said America was never that great. Here's a guy that was born into a political family that had literally a whole drawer full of silver spoons that he could choose from. He was absolutely never having to do a day's work or get calluses on his hands trying to do a day's work. And he comes out and says America was never that great. And he joins a list and host of other Democrats that have taken on the mantra of criticizing this country, belittling this country, demonizing this country, like Cory Booker, Elizabeth Warren, Cynthia Nixon, and a whole host of others. They are the epitome of the word loser. And they are condemning the greatest country of any time in the world's history, the United States of America. And if that doesn't make you mad, I've got another name to add to the fray this morning. Former basketball great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, real name Lou Alcindor. I have lost any and all respect for this man as he came out and said standing for the national anthem is like standing for a slave owner's song. Think about that. If they don't like this country, I wish they would just buy a one-way ticket to anywhere and then reside there in anywhere for about 6 months and then realize maybe, like a little baby bird, they'd messed in their nest. America is the greatest country ever on the face of the earth, and I'm very proud to be an American, a citizen of this country. And to these other jackasses, I wish they would leave. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Don't forget our friends at Dino Septic Service. They do a job that you don't want to do. I don't want to stand out there on a 95-degree day pumping a septic tank. No. Or, trying to clean out a sewer and sink drain line. No. And liquid waste removal. They do it all. They do it all with fast, fair, friendly service. And they've got two telephone numbers, 436-6526, or in Burley, 678-1638. I'm telling you, they really do a job we don't want to do, but they've expanded their business even to serve more people. Dino Septic Service, you get a hold of them today with that big truck that says, smells cargo on the way. Dino Septic Service, really, really good people. Also want to tell you a little bit about my friends over at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. Hello, Nick Greenwell and the rest of the staff at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. The number to call, and I want you to write this down where you'll not lose it, 678-1191. Now, I'm going to be starting up again this next month over there with some of the treatments, exercises, and the use of the hydrotherapy pool. And they have done a wonderful job for me. For all the aches and the pains and the rehabilitation, get a hold of them today. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, 678-1191. I would love to hear from you. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. And I just can't understand. And then John Brennan and James Comey and Mr. Towhead, James Clapper. Wow. The denigration and the complete low-class attitude that they have displayed since their boy, Obama, left office. I do not blame President Trump one little smidgen for finally saying enough is enough. If you're going to backstab me and you're going to go around and try to create an aura of complete distrust for my administration, I'm pulling your security clearances, especially John Brennan. He works as a political pundit and analyst for another TV station and network. And all he's doing is just running down this administration and actually being a thorn in the side. Why in the world should this man have a security clearance? He shouldn't, and I'm glad he's gone. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. I hope you're going to have a better day.
I never have a bad day.
I know, but on the security clearance, you know, if you work for somebody and that's in a high-tech situation and you leave, you have to sign an agreement saying that you will not disclose all of these things that you know. And it's just a courtesy, not a law. It's a courtesy to observe that.
Yeah.
But in the United States government, it is mandatory as far as I'm concerned. When you leave, when you walk out of that White House or wherever you're in the government, you should have all these things taken away from you because you're no longer part of it.
What sense does it make? And by the way, Wheels, turn the callers up just a little bit. You're going to have to ride the gain a little bit, and the feedback also. What sense does it make to have somebody like John Brennan that has absolutely showed his animus and displayed his absolute hatred for this administration and done everything he can to come out and vilify Trump and everything they're doing? This man, Brennan, is an avowed communist. I mean, to the point where he comes up with all these socialistic values and espouses all these communistic ideas. What sense does it make to let him sit and be privy to what's going on with major negotiations of security all around the world?
Well, he shouldn't even have that privilege. And he has said some things that are very inflammatory to the safety of this government, as far as I'm concerned. And, you know, they want to just make it look like, the Democrats, that is, they just want to make it look like Trump don't like Brennan, so he's going to do anything to get rid of him.
It's not a matter of like or dislike. It's not a matter of liking someone or not liking someone. It's a matter of, here is a guy, Brennan, that has displayed his disloyalty to the country and has displayed that I'm holier than thou and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that against the wishes of what's happening with national security. He should be thrown out on his ear. And I'm so glad that Trump is showing some moxie here to display that he's not going to take this anymore from Brennan or Comey or Clapper or anyone else. I'd like to see the whole shooting match of not only Comey but also Sally Yates and also Susan Rice and also Andrew McCabe. I'd like to see every one of them thrown out to where they have no access whatsoever.
That's absolutely right. And when the president tries to explain his position there, the Democrats are like a little kid. They stick their fingers in their ear and go blah, 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 blah,
Yeah,
blah,
yeah.
because they're not going to listen. And that's the problem.
Well, Keith, quick question, and give me a short answer on this because I've got to run and get some other things done here quick. But the Democratic Party, right now this morning, I think is in complete disarray. They haven't got a platform. They don't have anything to offer the American public on jobs or security or the economy, anything. And all they have is a platform of hate. That's all they've got, a platform of we've got to get rid of this administration. We've got to denigrate America. Now, who in their right mind, answer this quickly, who in their right mind would want to vote for any Democrat that stands up and says, I don't think America's very great. I never did think this country was worth a hoot. Why would you want to put someone like that in office?
You wouldn't. But here's my take on it. These bigger cities like, say, Cleveland, Ohio, and places like that, they'll say the Democratic Party is strong here and everything. It's just that these proud Americans are not speaking out.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to be stifled.
Well, that's the whole problem.
When they go to that voting booth, they're going to vote their conscience, and once again, the Republicans will prevail.
I'm very fearful of this election. I'm very fearful about a voter turnout. I'm very fearful that people will become and remain complacent and not go to the polls. I am very fearful. Keith, I got to run. Thank you for your call.
You bet. Bye-bye.
All right, don't forget our friends, and I just ripped the paper right in half. That wasn't a smart thing to do. Don't forget our friends at Berry Equipment and Rental, sales, service, and parts at 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Oh, my goodness. Hello, Juan. How you doing? And then also 465 Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls with Eli and the Nampa location. They've got all the equipment for you. I mean, equipment rentals, retail equipment sales, it's all there. All there. Bobcat excavators, Big Doosan loaders, everything at Berry Equipment and Rental, sales, service, and parts. Burley, Twin Falls, and Nampa. Remember the name, Berry Equipment and Rental. Caller, I'm going to get you on the air real quick, and then we're going to be talking in just a moment. Wheels is going to get us a real one-armed bandit on the phone. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Zeb. When that dunce said that America was never great, let's go back to World War II. And if it wasn't for the United States, the rest of the world would have gone to hell.
That's right.
We lost thousands and thousands of men out there to do something great like saving the rest of the world.
Well, there's no question my animosity towards the Democrats is going to increase with great fervor over the next couple of months because they appear to be a party that wants to center around the negativity of damning America. And I know you very well, and I know this reaches a great big animosity point with you. I don't think I'd ever have to worry about you not going to the polls, and I don't think I ever have to worry about you voting Democrat.
Oh, don't ever worry about that. Yes, I will go to the polls, Mary and I will call you maybe this weekend to tell you I've got something in my mind to get something done.
I'll look forward to it. Tony,
I need a little advice from you.
All right, well, listen, man, you are always welcome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Hey, don't forget our buddies at Stoats Equipment Company, your John Deere dealer at 119 Overland in Burley. They make your life easier. And every Tuesday at 9:46, we have the Stoats Ag Minutes. They're at the fair right now, the Cassia County Fair. Vic and the rest of the crew at Stoats Equipment Company. Yep, your John Deere dealer. Right now, we're going to go to the phone line and talk to a real live one-armed bandit. He's a good friend of mine. I've known him for years, worked a lot of rodeo performances with him all across the United States. And I say good morning to an old buddy, John Payne, the one-armed bandit. How are you, John?
I'm just pretty near perfect, Zeb. It's been a while since I talked to you.
It's been too long, and you're still rolling down the rodeo road, and I just absolutely admire your tenacity. You're never going to quit. What's going on with John Payne at the Cassia County Fair?
Well, we was in the parade yesterday. There were several thousand people watching, and that's just a glimpse of what I'll be doing at the rodeo tonight, Friday night, and Saturday night. I brought some big old longhorn Watusi steers with me, and I brought a horse named Tex. Tex was on top of the trailer yesterday, and that was just a glimpse of what we're going to be doing down at the rodeo grounds tonight.
John, of course, you and I have been friends for a long, long time, and over at the station Wheels, be sure and ride the gain and turn John up just a little bit. We've been friends for a long time. We've worked rodeos in California, Utah, Oklahoma, all over the place. I've lost track of how many times you've won the Specialty Act of the Year for the PRCA. I lost track at 10. How many are there?
Well, there's 15 now.
Oh, my.
We're still going down the road doing a lot of shows every year, and heck, I can't see no end in sight yet.
Well, you're an ageless cowboy, I'll tell you that. Finally, age, bad knees, and a bad hip caught up with me, and it set me home for a while. But I want everybody to know and appreciate your tenacity and your never-give-up attitude. You lost your right arm in an electrical accident years ago, but you didn't let that tragedy stop you from being a great success. Give us a quick synopsis of what happened.
Well, in 1973, I was tearing down a house for my dad. Dad always tried to keep me busy because I was a little bit ornery, and he keeping me busy out on the farm kept me out of trouble. So I was tearing down this house, and I'm just a dumb cowboy on a pole. I thought the electricity was off, but I found out it wasn't. I grabbed a hold of 7,200 volts, and they say you can't turn loose of it, but if you just keep hanging on to it, it'll finally burn your fingers off and you can turn loose. So that's what happened, and I fell 30 foot to my death. There was one guy there working with me, name was Gary Hughes, and he was an orderly in a hospital down in Texas before they moved up to Scheidler. So he knew CPR. When I came to, he was crying and slobbering, and I could feel the wetness in my face, which was a real relief because I just took on 7,200 volts for 10 seconds, and I was hot. And he told me that he had to fan my mouth with his hat to cool me down so he could give me mouth to mouth. That's how hot I was.
Wow.
But that was 1973. I checked myself out of the hospital, came home, went to breaking horses. I felt sorry for myself for about 30 minutes one day, and I realized I wasn't dead. I was just given another chance, and I wouldn't be making those mistakes again. But it was a very shocking experience. But I'm over the electrocution part, but I'm still not over that mouth-to-mouth resuscitation by this guy.
Yeah, that would bother me too.
Still today.
Yeah, that would bother me too. You know, John, I got to ask you, and you and I, like I said, we've been friends. We've worked a lot of rodeos together over the many, many years. But what was the big thought that came into your mind to develop this act called the One-Armed Bandit? How did that all come into being?
Well, I've been a rancher all my life, born and raised on a ranch, and all my people have been ranchers. That's just what we are, we're cowboys. Well, heck, the interest rate got up to 22% back in the mid-'80s, and the cattle prices, they offered me 39 cents for my big fat cattle. I put them in the feedlot, and look, I lost $250,000 in 2 years feeding cattle. I was flat broke, owed $100,000, and living with my grandmother. I lost my ranch, my house. I lost everything. I had nothing. I had some bulls that I'd gathered in Florida, and Walter Oldbull, you remember that old gentleman?
I do. Yes, I do.
He came to Ponca City, put on a rodeo, and they talking about them old wild bulls we had. He bought him. I went to the rodeo to watch him buck, and there was an act there, an old Civil War reenactment act that literally sucked, and I told Walter about that. He turned around and said, well, we'll just let you be the entertainment next year. Probably thought he'd shut me up, but I said, I'll be there. And he said he was serious, and I said, I am too. So the next year I went and put on 3 performances. I didn't get paid. I didn't get thanked, but I wasn't expecting nothing. I took the challenge, and I've been doing that show for 30 years now.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's been, I think, one of the greatest acts I've ever seen, and I really treasure the times and the performances I had a chance to work with you. And you've been everywhere. I mean, I want people to know this is a real treat to have you right here locally at the Cassia County Fair and Rodeo. I mean, we're talking Calgary Stampede, we're talking Houston, we're talking Reno, we're talking the National Western in Denver, we're talking the Dodge National Circuit Finals. I mean, I can't go through the entire list of where you've been. You've been very successful.
I've traveled 1 million miles, and about 3 years ago I counted the performances, and I've done 5,000 performances. But what sticks out in my mind mostly is, all those rodeos are great rodeos, and I've done them many times, but I went to the Middle East and did a show for the King of Oman, where it was a real treat. We was there 3 weeks. They had 38 different acts there, and after 6 rehearsals, they narrowed it down to top 25.
Uh-huh.
So they selected the One-Armed Bandit and Company from Shidler, Oklahoma, the very best in the world. There was 14 countries there. So that was a real big feather in my hat, not to mention the pay was astronomical.
Well, I tell you what, everything you've been paid, you deserve. And, John, we have a caller on the line with a question for you. So if you just listen real carefully and respond, I got about 1.5 minutes left. Caller, quickly, go ahead.
Oh, is that me?
Yes, fast, please.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good.
All right. I was just wanting to, this is my first time doing this, at the Burley Senior Junction Community Center now.
Oh, well, I tell you what, ma'am, ma'am.
The spiel here.
Ma'am, we're on the air with a guest right now. I tell you what, stay on hold. I'll get to you in just a moment, okay?
Okay, that's
all right. You stay right there. That call was not for this particular segment. John, I apologize for that. You're going to be at the Cassia County Fair, all 3 performances, tonight, Friday, and Saturday night. And what do you want to tell the folks to come out and see the great rodeo and also John Payne and the One-Armed Bandit and Company?
Well, this is my first trip to Burley. Hope I get invited back again someday. But you're going to watch cowboys that never give up, and that's an inspiration for people that think they might have a small handicap. Heck, if you got it between your ears, you don't need it anywhere else. I do a show that's Western and wild, and I just hope I make all 3 performances. We've had a few wrecks. It's dangerous. And my show comes with a guarantee. If you don't think my show alone is worth the price of a rodeo ticket and can convince my mama that, well, I'll give your money back.
John, I probably won't get a chance to see you because I'm headed out of this area, but I want to tell you how much I appreciate all the great years and performances, and I wish you the best of success. John Payne, the One-Armed Bandit and Company, God bless you, my dear friend.
Thank you, Zeb, and I hope you got a lot of years left in you. You're a darn fine announcer and a good friend. See you, Pard.
God's blessings to you. Thank you so much. A dear friend right there, John Payne, the One-Armed Bandit and Company, and you folks are blessed to have him as the specialty act at the Cassia County Fair and Pro Rodeo. Now let's take that call quickly. Ma'am, from the Senior Junction, I understand you've got some goodies to tell us about all the great eating at the Senior Junction. Quickly.
Okay, thank you. Every Wednesday, from here on, from 6 to 9 p.m. at the Burley Senior Junction on Overland Avenue, we're having a game night, and it's also a cheap date night for all ages, teens, families, so forth. We're going to have ping pong around the world, pool table, games, card games, hokey pokey limbo, and we're going to start our karaoke, and possibly Kathy and I, Ursula here, are doing karaoke and line dancing. The great idea for youth groups family date celebrations. It's only $2 a person, free on your birthday week. And this is supposed to be helping support the Meals on Wheels each day for at least 56 or more needy people, and to keep the place open because there's dance and bands different nights. So you can call the center at 208-878-8646. That's 878-8646. And call or text Kathy Marker at 208-312-7309. That's Kathy Marker.
Okay.
And anyway, thank you for the time.
You're very welcome, and I wish you a lot of success on that. Thank you very much, and God's blessings to all that you do over there at the Senior Junction. Thank you.
Oh, and thank you for all you do.
All right.
Have a great rest of the summer.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a great day.
Thank
Nice lady right there. And by the way, too, I want to take some more calls right now. I want to talk to you a little bit about, I saw this person on television last night, and this person is running for the governorship of the state of Vermont. This person is absolutely, I don't know how to put this. I think this person is disgusting. And we'll talk about this person in just a moment. I want to remind you about the Bennett Boys Auction Service with the Ling Living Estate Auction coming up this Saturday, August 18th at 11 o'clock. And I'll tell you what, it's in Twin Falls at 1088 Park Meadows Drive. Remember the address, 1088 Park Meadows Drive in Twin. Ling Living Estate Auction, 11 o'clock Saturday morning. Shop equipment, tools, supplies, sporting items, lawn and garden items, all kinds of things. Great furniture, antique oak dining table with 5 leaves, oak end tables, oh yeah, household items, lots of lamps, antiques and glassware, oh, a big sale. Bennett Boys Auction Service with the Ling Living Estate Auction this Saturday. And don't forget the Bennett Boys Auction Service, no sale too big, no sale too small. The Bennett Boys, they sell them all. This person is named, this just is absolutely disgusting what I saw last evening. And this person is a male that is a transgender dressing up as a female. And this she-male absolutely has come out and condemned, criticized, and belittled Christians and Christianity. And openly has made such derogatory statements against Christians and Christianity. It was so disgusting to listen to this person, see this person, and to think that the state of Vermont would even consider voting for this kind of a person to represent their state as governor. Yeah, I'll take some criticism over this. I don't care. I think that politics on the left, as I said earlier this morning, has become so vile and so filthy. I don't know if we've got a big enough broom in this country to clean it up. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Want to have a weather forecast here right now. I wonder if we're going to get rid of a lot of this smoke. We'll find out in just a moment. We're going to have the weather brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, Dr. Pickup, Dr. Mitchell, and believe me, you can trust your hearing health to these wonderful people. I had some problems. I went there. They helped me. They can help you. They're right behind the Minidoka Hospital across from the emergency room, and the number to call for an appointment, 312-0957. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, and right now, here's Gino with the weather.
Here's a look at your weather for this Thursday for Zeb at the Ranch, and it's going to be smoky for today, sunny and hot. We are expecting a high of 91. Tonight we're expecting some isolated showers and or thunderstorms. It's going to be smoky as well. Mostly clear skies with a low right near 58. Winds out of the southwest right around 11 miles an hour, but those winds could gust as high as 24 miles an hour, which is also putting us into a fire weather watch, especially for Friday. We are expecting a 40% chance of showers and most likely thunderstorms by tomorrow afternoon. Areas of smoke, mostly sunny skies with a high of 87. For Friday night, looks like a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Going to be windy as well. Gusts as high as 25 miles an hour, and we're expecting a low of 54. So fingers crossed we get some rain showers so we can help out those firefighters. That's your weather forecast for Zep at the Range.
Amen, amen. Thank you, Gina. Weather forecast brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, and they are the best at what they do. Great, great hearing health, and these two doctors absolutely can help you. Be sure and call for a hearing screening today at 312-0957. Boy, we must have had a lot of people sleep in this morning, so give us a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Oh, by the way, we took a lot of criticism on this program, and I don't care. I mean, I'm against the refugee system, the way it's handled in this country, because I absolutely stand behind. We do not have the information. We do not have the files. We do not have what's needed to be known about these people coming in from foreign countries under a refugee status. And the proof is in the pudding. By the way, they just arrested a refugee in California that's been here since 2014 that is a former ISIS contract cop killer. Yeah, the paperwork didn't show that when we accepted him as a refugee. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, getting back to that transsexual or whatever you want to call them, I never have had the desire to be a woman, but I think if I was, I would want to be at least a good-looking one.
Keith?
This person loses in all respects.
I couldn't agree with you more. I saw this person last night on television, and my wife and we were looking at the TV, and it was almost like we were wired at the neck. We slowly turned our heads and looked at each other and raised our eyebrows. What in the world is this? And then the derogatory, inflammatory, and absolutely brainless comments about Christians and denigrating them and derogatory statements. How in the world could anybody, the state of Vermont, how could they ever even think about voting for this person?
Well, I'll tell you what, I've been to Vermont, not talked to many people or anything, but it seemed like a nice place. But that was back in '05. And then along comes Bernie, who is the worst person in the world as far as I'm concerned. He's an old curmudgeon, is what he is.
Well, you're being kind.
He is a disgrace to people of my age.
Well, I'll tell you what, your verbiage about being an old curmudgeon is absolutely kind, a lot kinder than what I think of Bernie Sanders and the socialist ilk. And even Bernie Sanders on down to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez with, again, the bending towards socialism and the promotion of socialism in this country, the denigrating of capitalism, the denigration of our great country, belittling of our country and what it stands for. I really can't see how anyone could vote Democrat this November. Nobody should.
I don't see how anybody could vote for someone who doesn't even comb their hair.
Well, wild-haired Bernie is one of, hopefully, a very few of his ilk, but unfortunately, his kind of philosophy is growing like a cancer. He said something the other day that really bothers me. He was looking right straight at the camera, and he said, the values that I've espoused for the last couple of years, most of the American public want this. I don't think so, Keith.
No, I don't want any part of him or his agenda.
Well, I appreciate your call. Thank you very much for calling back and bringing up about the mess, and I'll underline that word, in Vermont for governor. Ay, ay, ay. My grandmother said it best. Ay, 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 ay. Thanks, Keith.
I wanted to make one other comment that was
Real quick.
Okay. Yesterday I went by and I seen you on your tractor, your new tractor, and you were playing like you were farming. I don't know what you were doing, but I remember distinctly 2 or 3 years ago, you were banned from the riding lawnmower because you killed flowers.
Don't believe...
You devoted yourself to a big machine?
Yeah, well, with the bigger machine, it stays out in the arena, and my wife knows that I probably won't get close to her flower beds like I did that one very dangerous year. Thank you so much for bringing that up, Keith. I will not take your calls in the future. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. All righty. Had to bring up the negative. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Oh, that's the yummy man today.
Holy smokes, we just had somebody from the Senior Junction call. What are you doing?
Oh, I did. Did they give you the menu?
No, that's your job. Hurry up. I've only got a minute.
Let's see. And beef stroganoff today, cake, and tomorrow is enchiladas, beef and bean enchiladas, mixed vegetables, and yummy dessert.
Okay, but now wait a minute. What kind of yummy cake is it, and what kind of yummy dessert is it tomorrow?
Well, that's because nobody knows what it's going to be. I could have said mixed desserts, but I'm going to be the yummy man today.
By golly, you always will be. Joe, God bless you, man. I appreciate it. The yummy man, Joe Taylor at Senior Junction. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You betcha. God bless. Holy smokes, we got all kinds of folks giving us a call this morning. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Oh, you know that the nationwide push to eliminate plastic straws is on. I haven't noticed it here in this area, though. I mean, I've been handed a lot of plastic straws, but now, the loony left is going after another item that they're categorizing as even more dangerous than straws. Birthday balloons. I'm not kidding. The loony left, these people with their bug eyes and their frowns in their foreheads, now they're saying that they want to see the elimination of all balloons. Oh, they're dangerous for the environment. Oh, my goodness. No more birthday balloons. No more happy anniversary balloons. No more wishing you better health balloons. They don't want you to have any more of those. They are going to go by the wayside. They're going to go in the barrel pit along with the plastic straws. Folks, I'm telling you, I am so sick of Big Brother. I am so sick of stupidity. I am so sick of the over-embracing of environmental movements. Now they want to stop little Johnny and Susie from having a balloon. Caller, quickly, I've got a minute and a half.
All righty. Well, when I retire, I've just figured out a new business I'm going to go in.
What's that?
I'm going to go black market on plastic straws and party balloons.
You know, it's crazy. You and I are kind of joined at the hip a little bit on this, and wheels of feedback. But I thought last night I would go out and I'm going to buy up all the plastic straws I can find. And I'm going to get a bunch of balloons and a little helium machine and everything. And I'm just going to sit there and I'm going to have fun until the feds knock on my door and they put me in handcuffs, haul me off to the state prison for years for having a plastic straw.
Oh, yeah. I liked what Mike Huckabee tweeted the other day. He said he took a trip to California and he paid for it by selling plastic straws in the alley.
Yeah. You know, honestly, with all the crises in the world to worry about, all the people that want to hurt other people and kill other people, we're more concerned about a plastic straw.
I know it. It's ridiculous.
Doug, I got another call quickly before I go off this hour. I got to take it. Thank you very much.
You bet. Let's support our seniors. senior centers.
God bless you, man. Caller, I'm going to ask you to stay with me just a minute. I got to tell everybody about your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, your big Les Schwab Tire Centers serving you. If you need new tires, they've got all the tires, all the different tread designs, all the sizes. They've got everything for your cars, pickups, SUVs, horse trailers, boat trailers, you name it. They can help you, and they will. If you're going on a road trip, be sure and have them check your brakes. They've got the best in brake service, front end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries. Oh my goodness, but above all, the best in service. All 7 locations, Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family and Paul, Daniel on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland and Burley. The best. That's not brag, that's a fact. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Caller, I'm going to give you exactly 30 seconds. Real fast. Go.
Okay. What in the world is a car dealer going to do if they do away with balloons?
I never thought about that. That's a good point. Got to run, Keith. Thank you. We'll meditate on it. Thanks for calling back. I never thought about that. All right, we've got to go to the news from CBS. They're going to mess up everything we've put together the last hour, and we'll be back in about 7 minutes. Zeb at the Ranch on a Thursday. Don't go away. Good morning, and welcome back. Hour number 2, Zeb at the Ranch on a Thursday. And, of course, brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you. And, of course, also some of our great advertisers, including Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. We're going to go over to the Chamber of Commerce in just a few seconds, but to stand by, I want to remind everybody, too, about our friends at Hanson Mortuary. Joel Heward, his family, and his staff serving you at 710 6th Street in Rupert. You know, when there's the passing of a loved one, absolutely everything just comes completely to a stop, a halt. And there's so much to be done, and you don't know what has to be done. Please, that's where they come in to help you and serve your family with the highest ethical standards with unquestioned integrity. Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert. Joel Heward, family and staff serving you. Number to call, 436-5636. That number again, 436-5636. And Joel Heward also serving you and your family over at Morrison Payne Funeral Home on East Main in Burley. Really wonderful people. I know some other people that are really wonderful folks, too, and they serve your dogs and your kitty cats and everybody else, everything else. They're a mixed animal practice. And that means big or small, they take care of them all and want your animals healthy. I don't care if you got an itty-bitty kitty cat or if you're talking about a great big bunch of dairy cows. They can and will help you. Dr. Bill, Dr. Jordan, and the rest of the crew at Ark Animal Hospital, 750 21st Street, near Connection Credit Union in Hayburn. And believe me, the number to call, and remember, 678-1177. They wish good luck to all the 4-H and FFA kids out there in the audience. Good luck at the fair. Don't forget Ark Animal Hospital, 678-1177. They do have the warm hearts for the cold noses. Right now, look out, here she comes. Look out over at the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce. Here's Rapid Fire, Sarah Seymour.
Good morning, Zeb. How are you today?
I am great. What's going on in your world?
Oh, we have so much to talk about today, but first off, I just wanted to wish our own Office and Events Coordinator, Jackie Larson, congratulations on her retirement. She has decided to just spend some more time with her family, and we will miss her so much, and we are so thankful of everything that she's done for the Chamber and our community.
Well, absolutely. Please tell her I said good luck in the future.
We so will. Thank you so much.
What else have you got?
Absolutely. Coming down the line, we've got our Minnecasia Leadership Program, 2-year program sponsored by us here at the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce. It's a series of one-day seminars held monthly, September through May, and we are still accepting applications. We have a few more spots open. So if you're interested and a chamber member, give us a call here, and we'll tell you how that works, and we'll get it all planned for you. We've still got our photo contest going on. We're going to run this until February of next year. And what we're looking for is pictures of everything all over the Mini Kaja area, people, places, things, animals, scenery, sunsets, whatever you want to send us. We cannot wait to see those pictures. Go ahead and check out our website for more information, and you can just email me your submissions. We have some member events going on and coming up shortly. River Valley Orthodontics is going to have a ribbon cutting for their new building at 1365 East Main Street on September 14th at 1 p.m. sharp. We cannot wait to see the inside of that beautiful new building. It's going to be wonderful. We hope you join us. Kaja County Fair and Rodeo is still going on. I know my husband my son showed sheep yesterday, and he did such a great job. But we're getting ready to do the rodeo. Kicks off tonight with the Man Up Crusade, so wear your purple and come to the rodeo. Still have the rodeo tomorrow night for the breast cancer awareness and patriotic night on Saturday. We cannot wait to see you there. Ace Hardware is going to be having a ladies' night, Canning 101. They want to help you make the most of your harvest this year. It'll be Saturday, August 25th, 7:30 at both their Burley and Rupert locations. Right Physical Therapy is still accepting donations for their Stuff the Backpack school supply drive. You can contact Right Physical Therapy and drop off your school supplies, or you can even bring them here into the chamber, and we will get that distributed for you. PMT is still accepting their grant applications until tomorrow. If you need more information on that, please check out pmt.org or their PMT offices in Burley or Rupert. We have a chamber retreat coming up in September for all local chamber members. It'll be in Jerome on Monday, September 24th from 10 to 2. If you need any more information about that, just call us here at the chamber and we can help you get registered or get you more information. Lots of community events coming up. Check our calendar on our website for anything. If you don't have something to do, just look at our website and we can get you something to do. We also have several of our members that are looking or that have job openings. They're needing an experienced maintenance tech at Sandridge Color Corp. Accounting positions open at Phillip Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company. St. Nicholas Catholic School is looking for a teacher's aide, and I believe Shoot 2 Promotions is looking for a salesperson.
That's exactly right. You know, I learned from the first day that you were on this program that interrupting you or trying to get a word in is like walking across a NASCAR track during the race.
You know, it's touchy. It is.
You know, all the things that are going on in Wheels, again, ride that gain over there. We got terrible feedback here on the line. Please, over at the Chamber of Commerce, this is a very busy time and a lot of people coming through, visiting our area. Any interesting, real quick stories about guests from maybe out of this country that have stopped in to say hello?
Oh, my goodness. Well, during the Magic Valley Folk Festival, we had a ton of the dancers come into our area and into our chamber specifically looking for Idaho items, and it was amazing to just get to visit with them and see their perspective of our area, and it was so much fun to just get to meet those completely different cultures and see all of those. We do have tons of travelers right this time of year. We've got lots of comments about all of the fires in the area. Lots of people looking to go to City of Rocks and Shoshone Falls and just spend time in our area. So we are so thankful that those people are taking the time to stop and see everything that we have to offer.
You know, and it's so easy to get a hold of the Chamber office. What are some of the great, easy ways to get a hold of you or maybe send a public announcement about what's happening? How do they do that?
Absolutely. You can always just stop in to our office. We're located at 1177 7th Street in Hayburn, right by the river and the walking path. You can give us a call anytime, 208-679-4793, or visit our website. This is our new tool that we've got that we put out in April, and we're just so excited to have it, www.minikajachamber.com. You can submit your events to our calendar. You can submit anything to us via email. You can check out our website. It has a ton of information out there. It's just such a valuable resource for our community. We can't wait for more people to start using it. Okay,
I'm scared to do this. I really am. But it is time, ladies and gentlemen, for the Sarah Groaner of the Week.
Okay, I've got this one for you, and this is one of my kids' favorite jokes, and I think it's appropriate for Fair Week. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, oh boy, am I ready.
Okay, what do you call a cow with no legs?
What do you call a cow with no legs? I'm afraid to say this, but I don't know.
Ground beef.
There's the groaner.
You're welcome.
Sarah, God bless you and the staff over at the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Zeb. Have a great day.
Oh, my goodness. Every week at the tail end of our interview, we have a Sarah groaner, and that was it. What do you call a cow with no legs? Ground beef. Okay. I want to remind everybody, too, about our friends over at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. Hello, Jeff and the rest of the crew over there at Lee's 459 Overland in Burley. My goodness sakes. You know, here we are in mid-August, and a lot of you people are saying, why, it's still hot, 90 degrees. I said this yesterday, but you know it's going to drop like a rock, and you're going to be spending a lot more time inside your beautiful home. Well, maybe you want to even add more beauty. Maybe you want to add more comfort. Well, let me tell you, they've got all the carpeting. They've got all the bedroom sets and the living room sets. They've got all the recliners. They've got everything you need for the beautification and the comfort of your home. Stop in and see Jeff and the crew today. Don't put it off. Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland in Burley. They are waiting right this moment to serve you. And some other great folks that I want to talk about that are there to serve you. Let's not forget our friends at Let's Ride. Oh, get your motor running. I'm telling you, Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays, 9 to 4. And believe me, they've got all the ATVs. All the ATVs. They've got the new Maverick Sport side-by-side. Oh, this is a big fancy dude. You got to check this out. And a great accessory department, everything you need, and the best doggone service department around to keep you running. Stop over and see them today. Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24, between Rupert and the World, and it is true. This is where the fun is sold. Right now, it is time to meet more of the great people at your Cassia Regional Hospital. Wheels, if you would, please.
Caring about you and your health care in the most professional and progressive ways. That's Cassia Regional Hospital, located at 1501 Highland Avenue in Burley. In a moment, we'll introduce you to just one of the many dedicated medical experts serving you at Cassia Regional Hospital. Today's program, right after this. Cassia Regional Hospital provides you and your family excellent health care answers and services. They're right here, close to home. That's right. Cassia Regional Hospital offers the latest technological advances in medicine, like their new oncology programs and telehealth, which uses electronic information and telecommunications to promote long-distance patient and clinical health care. Your friends, your neighbors. Cassia Regional Hospital, 1501 Highland Avenue in Burley. Quality care, close to home. On the air right now with more of the great folks at Cassia Regional Hospital, Martha Matthews, and we're going to be talking about a cancer support group. Martha, please, good morning, and what do you do?
Good morning. I am a social worker over here at Cassia Regional Hospital in Burley, and we wanted to start up this cancer support group for our community because there really are quite a few people who are going through cancer treatment and need some support.
You know, when you say that, support, I mean, whatever the illness or whatever the health problem, whether it's a heart problem, a kidney problem, or cancer, people need to know other people are there to help and kind of console them a little bit.
Exactly, and that's what we find is the people who attend the group, they receive education and different community resources that are helpful to them, but more than anything, they really appreciate being with other people who are going through some kind of cancer or treatment. Being able to visit with each other and give ideas of how they have learned to cope with it is really helpful. They become like a family.
Once someone has been given that news that they have this disease, and they sit there in the house, and I'm just making a summation here, I don't know, but they think the roof is caved in and everything, but that's not really the case, is it?
No, and that's what we want them to know is that they're not alone. You know, that can be a pretty devastating diagnosis to receive, and we just want them to know that they're not alone. It is much more common than people realize, and you can get through it, and you can get to a point of remission and continue to live a pretty good life. There's lots of cancer treatments out there now that are much more effective than they used to be years ago.
Let me ask you this, Martha. Okay, so they've been given the diagnosis by the doctor, and they go home, and naturally it's a very depressing time. But how do they know, or how are you advertising that there is help and there are other people that are willing to sit down with them?
Well, we have got, through the hospital here, we are able to advertise in our little newspapers that are in our community, and we have it on PMT, word of mouth. We've been trying to get the news out there now for a couple of years. And then we've got good folks like you that put it on the radio, and we've been on KMBT. We just want everyone to know that this service is available, and it's free of charge. We're sponsored through Intermountain Healthcare, and it is for anyone, not just in our area, but anyone that wants that kind of support.
Let me ask you this question. Do you find that a lot of people, a lot of patients, are inhibited to go to these meetings? What kind of a good push do they need to attend?
I think they just need to know that we're there. It's a small group. It's very private. It's everything that is talked about and shared is kept very confidential. They just need to know that we're there. Oftentimes people just feel they kind of isolate themselves a little bit when they've been given a diagnosis like that, and we want them to know that we're there for them. They can just learn so much. The more they learn about a cancer diagnosis and the treatment, that helps them to be able to cope with it. And they're around people that are going through the same things and see how they've coped with it for years. And this is something they can work through.
Let me ask you this question in regards you and others like you. How do you go about getting the training and the knowledge to sit down and run a group like this?
I get my information from Intermountain, and we've got a whole program outlined of the education that we give. And that information actually comes from a Swedish Cancer Institute. And so we've got some very, very good knowledge, education, and different things to share with people. Where I'm a social worker, I've got education to run groups. And so I've done that for a long time in our area. And then we've got a certified oncology nurse, Melissa Davis, who also is in our group. So she's got some good education and experience also. She's had a cancer diagnosis herself, and so that's very effective when she's helping the folks in the group. She knows. She's experienced it.
I would imagine that, and again, I have not attended one of these meetings, so please bear with me, but I would imagine that it has to be kind of a very uplifting, positive, kind of a high school Harry rah-rah event to get people enthused that there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
You know, it's like that to a certain point. We also want to be respectful, and we understand that this is a serious diagnosis. And so it's kind of both. Folks in our group, they'll cry and they'll laugh. And so we get the whole spectrum of emotions, and I think that's why it's so healing and so positive for them, is they can come in and share how they really feel.
I would also think that with people in a group setting like that, and maybe somebody else almost has exactly the same symptoms or diagnosis as you, and maybe they've got some really interesting and positive information to share, wow, that could be a benefit to all the folks.
That's exactly what happens. They talk about different things that they've tried and how it's been helpful to them. We also have guest speakers that come in to our groups. We hold these groups for 9 consecutive weeks, and we have speakers that come in to talk to them about just different things that are available to help them get through it. We have massage therapists come in. We have just different speakers, anything that can pertain to helping them to get through it.
Okay, now how does a person find out exactly the starting times, the dates of these meetings? Is there a cost factor? All of this.
There is no cost factor. In fact, we provide lunch for them, and it's a very nice lunch, and there's no cost to it. So they would just need to get a hold of myself here at Cassia Regional, and my number is 677-6581. We also have a couple of home health, Intermountain Home Health social workers that also help to facilitate the group. One's name is Carrie Stoker, and her phone number is 678-8844. We have Marcy Betke, 678-8844. And then if they just want to call the infusion therapy, that phone number is 677-6288, or they can just call the Cassia Regional Hospital at 678-4444.
Very well done, and it just makes people feel better to have folks like you helping them. Martha Matthews, and we're talking about a cancer support group at Cassia Regional Hospital. Martha, thank you for being on the program this morning.
Oh, thank you, Zeb. We appreciate your support.
Tune in every Thursday at 9:18 right here on Zeb at the Ranch for more about the people and the healthcare services at your Cassia Regional Hospital, 1501 Highland Avenue in Burley. Quality care close to home.
I've said this before, and I'll probably say it again, but I'm very, very impressed with the quality and the forthrightness of these people over at Cassia Regional Hospital. They really, really know, and they're your friends serving you. Really good folks. Cassia County Fair and Rodeo in full swing, midweek, if you will. A couple of days left, including tonight, and my goodness sakes, it's going to be a lot of fun today. What's cooking over there today is, let's see, right now they are probably at 9:30. This morning they're getting ready for the 4-H basket fundraiser bidding, and then they're going to have the 4-H open class building. They're going to, excuse me, it choked to death. 11 o'clock, they're going to have the commercial building open. At 1 o'clock this afternoon, the 4-H bowl contest. And at also, let's see, 1 o'clock, the carnival opens up and entertainment on the free stage. I do not know what this is. At 2 o'clock, they're going to have Cupcake Wars. Maybe that's a contest I ought to judge next year. Anyway, hypnotist later on this afternoon, and of course, the first performance of the PRCA Rodeo tonight at 8 o'clock, and that's all at your Cassia County Fair and Pro Rodeo. Don't forget our friends at Cameron and Siemens Insurance. Oh, yes. The best of life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, all of this and more. And all you need to do to make sure that you, your family, and your business are protected, give them a call today. Make an appointment at 436-4424. That number again after I clear my throat, 436-4424. They are dedicated and very responsive to your needs. Give them a call today. They can help. They will help. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. A reminder that next Thursday, the 23rd of August, we will have our Zeb's Lunch Bunch at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner. Don't miss that. Next Thursday at 11:30. I've just given you a heads up. It's going to be next week. Don't you miss it, okay? Programming reminder. In just a moment, we're going to have Rita Ramsey on the air. And then next hour, I want to remind you that we've got Cassia County School Days and the Business Salute, and then a lady that's always welcome on the show and backed by popular demand, the car coach, Lauren Fix. That lady knows more about cars and gasoline engines, diesel engines than anybody I've ever talked to in my life. And she's going to be on at 10:30 this morning from New York State. Right now, let's go to the phone line and see if she's ready to go this morning. Good morning to Rita Ramsey.
To be honest, sir, she hasn't called in yet.
How much do you want to bet that's her, my young friend? She'll be right there on the air with us. I know she is. She's listening as she sits. I know she is. Thank you very much. Rita, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm real good. Thank you.
Have you had a good week listening and trying to educate yourself on all the news? You know what? Sometimes you hear one or two stories that really pique your interest. Rita, over the last week, I can't keep up with all this stuff.
I'll tell you something. The news circles are just becoming an absolute merry-go-round. That is for sure. I can't believe that the news media will pick up and just absolutely make something of nothing.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. I'm going to play a little game with you this morning, Rita, and I'm going to mention a name, and then I want you to mention the first word that pops into your head in association with that name. Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay, here we go. John Brennan.
Loser.
Okay. James Clapper.
Bigger loser.
James Comey.
I think he is just an absolute dolt.
Okay. Susan Rice.
I don't know whether there's actually one word that would describe her. My description of her would be that she is un-American.
Okay, and lastly, Peter Strzok.
Oh, it's these people. I just don't really get it. I can't believe that he'd be in the FBI and be in places that he's at and acting the way that he has been. Of course, being that he's an ex-FBI now, that's good.
You know, the reason I asked you to give me maybe a one-word reply to their names, most of these people are going to be feeling, I think, and necessarily so, the wrath of Donald Trump, our president, in the revocation of their security clearances. What are your thoughts on this story that's coming up? And the media is in a frenzy saying Donald Trump is absolutely acting like a dictator.
Well, that's the big elephant in the corner. The big problem is first of all, why do they need their security clearances if they're not in those jobs anymore?
Right.
And second of all, I can understand them, maybe doing some consulting or something like that and needing to have information or give information to somebody who's doing some, checking and stuff like that. But they don't need them. And when they left, Jim Comey and Andy McCabe and any of those, Brennan, all of those, when they left being in their positions, they left feeling like, well, I'm still going to be in charge and I'll do whatever I can to just damage the heck out of things. It should have been revoked at the time they left.
And let me jump in there and say one of the most despicable, one of the most unlikable, one of the most anti-American, and I've heard many reports, I cannot prove this, you couldn't prove it, nobody can unless he opens his mouth wider. John Brennan, an avowed almost socialist/communist, he, as a former CIA director, absolutely has done everything he can to uproot and tear apart the Trump administration. I'd have thrown him out a long time ago.
Well, he should have been. And the other thing is didn't he actually surface the main part of when we heard about him was when he was testifying on that September, the 13 thing in Benghazi, and,
right,
and all of that. And he, it's kind of like, oh, I don't know anything about that, or it's like you could tell he was trying to cover up stuff.
Mm-hmm.
and that's when he should have been set out. But of course, he was covering up because he was covering up for Hillary and for President Obama and everything else. And these guys, they're not in there for service. They're in there for their own preference.
Right.
And it's just really sad. I think that John Brennan is, and I shouldn't say this is probably nothing against him, but he was one of the big promoters of the Muslim Brotherhood and all of those other things that were damaging to the administration now, but they were supposedly propping up Obama and stuff like that, and it just makes you wonder, where are their priorities, and if they're not going to honor the Constitution, they shouldn't be in there.
Well, and not only that, but here you have people like James Clapper and Brennan and Susan Rice, etc., and it's really hard for me to grasp and accept that they were filled with so much animus because Hillary didn't win, and they absolutely hated Trump. How would you like to share that information with these people, knowing that there's going to be twists and turns and there's going to be tidbits that are going to be fed to the media that are going to come back and try to stab Trump and his administration in the back?
Well, that's exactly why you need to clear the board. Get the old people out of there, send them on their way, let them do their thing. The administration's changed, the party's changed. Get some new people in there, get the people that you trust and that you know and that are behind you and behind what's good for America, and then start building again.
I agree. We have a caller with a question. Caller, real fast. Go ahead, please.
Zeb, I want to get back onto your game. One thing that would describe somebody, that would be Hillary, and she's a balloon. And they're going to do away with balloons, aren't they? Thank you.
All right, Bob. Thank you very much for that. I was going to get into Hillary Clinton in just a few moments, which we can do that segue right now. I don't know if you saw and or heard Governor Cuomo of New York yesterday come out and, like most Democrats are doing right now, whether it's Cory Booker or whether it's Cynthia Nixon or whether it's Elizabeth Warren, but Cuomo came out yesterday in a speech and said America never was that great. Is this the new format for the Democratic Party, to where they are going to come out and keep a condemnation of America going? Why in the world would anybody with any sanity want to vote Democratic?
Well, that's what makes me question anybody's sanity, is if they're an American and they're interested in what's good for the country, why would they want to support somebody who says that it isn't great, we don't like it, and da-da-da-da-da? The thing of it is Cuomo, who's been on coattails of those before him, his father and his grandparents and so forth, he can come in here and just say all of the stuff that he wants. He's never had any real experience. He's never been a self-made man. He's just a little brat with these silver spoons, as you said earlier. And those kind of people are not the kind of people that you want managing your state. Can you imagine how it could be if there was somebody like Trump managing the state who says, hey, this is how we need to cut out on spending. This is how we need to do this to improve that. And this is what we need to do to get everybody working again. And how we need to bring revenues up, but yet taxes down and those kinds of things. This guy is just an absolute idiot, and he has really no life experience other than just being a politician and a rich kid.
Yeah. I heard an analogy about Cuomo this morning, and I hope I can remember it. It was at 4 o'clock this morning. Someone was a guest being interviewed about Cuomo, and they said he was born on third base, and he thinks he hit a triple so he can run across home plate. He's a guy that's never had to work for a living. He's a guy that's never been out of a liberal household with his father and mother, everybody else involved in politics, and he's been handed all the best things of life in from this country, and then he comes out and says America never was that great. I mean, if that isn't a slap in the face to the rest of us and all Americans, plus all of our military men and women that have fought and died for this country, that's a big slap in the face.
Well, it really is. And if I was a political opponent, I would take those and just run those back to back of him saying America never was great and everything else, and then saying, you know, is this somebody that you want to be in charge of our state and, you know, be the number one guy, the guy who has no positive things to say about America, let alone anything else? It's just really sad to think that there are people out there that can do that instead of looking at it. And if you know history, you have to be an absolute idiot not to recognize that America's great because they're good, and America's great because we had great founders, and they were inspired to do the things that they did to help make America work. And you get people like him, all they're doing is trying to tear it down and collapse America, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, and I'm going to add one more little ingredient to the conversation. America is great because of its Christian background, its Judeo-Christian ethics, and if somebody doesn't like that, I don't care. I'm going to stand up for that. And when we start to lose, and we are, losing the value of our Judeo-Christian ethics, that's why our country is faltering today.
Well, it really is. You know, you can just look at the Bible, and I guess there are people all around the world that don't believe in the Bible, but you can look in the Bible, and when people were good and turned towards God, they prospered, things went good, you know, they had the kinds of things they wanted. When they started worshiping other gods, and it didn't have to be a golden calf or the god Baal, who was the weather god, when they started worshiping other than the real God, they had famine and they had all kinds of destruction and sadness, and they didn't do well. And when they finally turned back to God, things started going well. Do people not understand that as a lesson? Why was the Bible preserved all these thousands of years?
Absolutely.
To learn from, for crying out loud.
Absolutely. You know, you are about as much a Hillary fan as I am, zero. And I put her value on the depth chart, if you will, at an even lower ilk yesterday after I heard that she, Hillary Clinton, had praised an 11-year-old girl by the name of Mariana that took a knee against our Pledge of Allegiance, and Hillary tweeted out, "Keep up the good work, Mariana." How despicable is that?
Well, that's what's really sad is you get people who make comments about this type of thing, this little girl kneeling. I don't know what she thought she was trying to do other than it's like, well, this is the big thing on TV, so I guess I should do it. And then you have somebody that praises her. First of all, they shouldn't have even recognized it. And second of all, apparently she doesn't have a mother that, you know, is proud to be an American. I would be really interested to know where this little girl comes from and why her why her background is that this would be good to do the same thing as those idiots in the NFL are doing. And you know, speaking of the NFL thing, it just really upsets me that people don't stop and look at it as it's not that you're asking them to pledge everything and all that other stuff, and we're ruining their chance for rights to speak and say their piece and everything else. That's not what it is. All you have to do is be respectful. That's what you're required to do as a citizen. Stand up, be respectful during the thing, and then go and do your thing on the ball field. It doesn't mean that you have to sign up for the military the next day or give your life or anything else. It's just be a little respectful while that's playing for those that want to honor it, for crying out loud.
And that leads me right up to another person that everybody knows the name. Everybody's followed his sports fame, and that's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And right after I do the weather, I want to talk to you about him. I've lost all my respect for him, and I hope he never gets any press coverage again. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Stand by, but right now we're going to have a weather forecast brought to you by Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company, providing accounting services to the Mini-Cash area for well over 50 years. Over 50 years. And, of course, with the best of tax return preparation, tax planning, payroll services, retirement planning, business consulting, all of this and so much more. I urge you to find out more about how they can help you, your family, and your business. They've got offices in Burley and Rupert. Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Here's a look at your weather for this Thursday for Zeb at the Ranch, and it's going to be smoky for today, sunny and hot. We are expecting a high of 91. Tonight we're expecting some isolated showers and or thunderstorms. It's going to be smoky as well. Mostly clear skies with a low right near 58. Winds out of the southwest right around 11 miles an hour, but those winds could gust as high as 24 miles an hour, which is also putting us into a fire weather watch, especially for Friday. We are expecting a 40% chance of showers and most likely thunderstorms by tomorrow afternoon. Areas of smoke, mostly sunny skies with a high of 87. For Friday night, looks like a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Going to be windy as well. Gusts as high as 25 miles an hour, and we're expecting a low of 54. So fingers crossed we get some rain showers so we can help out those firefighters. That's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you, Gina. And don't forget, check about all the tax rates that have changed and new deductions and some alterations to our old deductions. You get a hold of these folks today. Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company, providing accounting services to the Mini-Cash area for well over 50 years. Rita, sports figure or personality, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, born with the name of Lou Alcindor back in New York, went on to great fame on the basketball court, and I think he's abused that basketball fame by coming out and saying that he's going to side with the athletes that are not going to honor and stand with respect for our flag, because he said standing for the national anthem is like standing for a slave owner's song. What are your thoughts?
I think this guy has got dementia. He has obviously forgotten where he came from, how he was able to make a living, and everything about it. In this article, I know he says, who would know better how to define outrage than him, the privileged darling of white supremacists, and he's talking about Trump. And he's talking about white head coaches or the 70% black players who actually take the field each week. Do they know better? Well, yeah, they're not trying to make payroll. They're not trying to keep all of their employees happy and keep a business afloat. He just like the other ball players, show up and do their thing and negotiate and take in the millions and live the good life and do a few things here and there that would hopefully enhance their community, but they just stop and they don't remember where they came from. And is there another country in the entire world that would give them what America has given them?
Well, and let's add this into the conversation. Many of which were in high school and were looked at by collegiate scouts and offered scholarships that they could utilize and look for a life after sports if professional sports didn't really come into their life. And they had an opportunity to get an education far more so than what a lot of whites or any other race have in this country. And yet they'll turn around after they have signed these multi-million-dollar contracts, and they will bite the hand that feeds them with a total show of disrespect. I absolutely find them repulsive.
Well, I do too. And last I was informed about, these guys were not forced to sign contracts saying they had to do this. they did that because it was like, oh man, look what's in it for me, and I'll be great, and this is a wonderful place to show my talent and to make a living and everything else. I mean, I didn't see any. I've never seen a single ball player that signed a multi-million-dollar contract, or even multi-thousands for that had their, that were in handcuffs or anything else, saying you do it or you're going back into your cell.
Yeah, and for them to basically denigrate this country, denigrate our military, denigrate our police forces, etc., in a show of disrespect and really not be able to explain why they're doing it. They were offered opportunities to go talk to other people. They were offered opportunities to go to the White House and talk to President Trump himself. And then with their attitude of, no, I don't want to talk to him, he's not my president. You never solve anything by creating a problem and then not talking about it and try to solve the problem. These black athletes are nothing more than spoiled prima donnas.
Well, they are, and the part that's really sad about it is, why don't they just keep their mouth shut and play ball?
Yeah.
Why do they have to get in on, I'm the one who knows about all the political stuff, I've been there, I've done that, I can advise? It's like, just play ball. We don't care whether you're pro-Trump or anti-Trump or pro-Obama or anything else. We don't really care. It's just like the movie stars. Have them make their movies and do their thing. I don't need to know their politics to be able to enjoy, whatever they're doing, whether they're playing ball or making movies or whatever. It's just ridiculous. They think that because they are kind of held in the limelight, that all of a sudden they're the ones who know everything about everything, and they should start advising us.
Yeah. I have to ask you if you happen to follow the story about the Democratic possible governor for Vermont, Christine Hofquist. I believe it's Hofquist or Hallquist. The transgender that has been openly denigrating Christianity with a lot of derogatory statements. Have you seen it on television?
Actually, I haven't, and I hope I haven't missed very much.
You didn't. You did not. I had to ask you about that because last night, of all the bad timing, my wife and I had settled down for a little supper, and then she came on. And if there's anything that will absolutely destroy a good meal, it is this person. Don't leave me hanging, Rita. Come on, jump in.
Well, I'll do one thing, and that is I will say, I don't really care whether somebody's a he or a she, or whether they think they're a he or a she. If they've got something to offer and they want to be in political office, then I think that's what they need to do, is they need to run and see if they're done. If they win, and that's fine. But for them to think that I will get elected because I have these special things about me, that, they're just riding on a coattail. In other words, I can't win if I'm just a regular person with some credentials. I have to be like, I'm a minority because I'm a she or I'm a he, or I don't even know who I am or anything else. And therefore you should elect me because I'm special.
Well, and my take on this whole thing is that I am absolutely appalled and mad and angered at this person for, again, calling out Christianity and saying that it's radicalized Christians that are a problem with the American landscape. Wow. You think I'm going to say or not say anything that's derogatory about this person? Guess again. I'm going to let them have it full bore.
Well, that's exactly right. And when they start calling people names and degrading us because we're just regular people, they're going to find out there's more regular people than their little special interest people, and hopefully it won't get them very far. It's just pathetic that we have to boil everything down to it's them or us. And it's them because they're Christians, and it's us because we're anti-Christian.
Real quick, I know we have a caller, but I don't have time to get that call on the air in this segment. I want to ask you, I'm sure that you are going to be turning over your plastic straws and any and all balloons in your home, because right now that's persona non grata material.
No, I think I'm going to buy up as many of them as I can so that I can keep using them from now till I don't ever need them.
There you go, Rita. I agree with you. I'm sorry, caller. I'm flat out of time in this segment, but I appreciate it. Rita Ramsey, God bless you. Thank you for your calling in.
Thanks. Goodbye.
All right. Take care. Love that lady on Thursdays, Rita Ramsey. And to the caller, I'm sorry I just flat ran out of time in this segment. I want to remind you that if you're hungry at this time of the morning and, like I always say, starving to death, I know some great places to go, including the AC Drive-In at 601 East Main in Burley. They have got those orange and lemonade freezes. Whoa! Are they good for a hot, hot summer day? And all the shakes and different flavors, and they've got the hot dogs and the chicken strips, and my favorite, the famous Farmer Brown burger at the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. How about Taco Bandito? How about that Taco Bandito? 2301 Overland in Burley, and they've got the great, delicious, phenomenal breakfast burritos, scrambled eggs, bacon and sausage, cheese, onions, tomato sauce on a tortilla shell. Woo-hoo! Start the day off right. Be sure and stop in to one of the favorite places to go, Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. And listen to this, two locations of delicious burgers, etc. 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 Overland in Burley. And they've got that medium spicy chicken combo with fries, only $5.99. And after 3 p.m., ham and cheese combo, small fries, and a medium drink, just $4.99. And huckleberry shakes at Burgers, etc. in Rupert and Burley. And last but not least, let's not forget our friends over at Steve-O's. Food made the way you love it at 290 South 600 west of Hayburn. Live music on the weekends from 6 to 9, and you can enjoy the music with a delicious buffalo burger or a great tasty salad. And don't forget, they've got all those new delicious cupcakes. Oh my. Friendly people, great food. Steve-O's, 290 South 600 west of Hayburn. And those are just a few great places to go when you're hungry and starving to death. I am. I really am. We're going to take a little break for a few minutes and let the big boys from CBS come in here and mess everything up. And then we're going to come back with Cassia County School Days and the Business Salute, and at 10:30, the Car Coach. Don't go away. Zeb at the Ranch. I'll be back. Oh, good morning again on hour number 3, Zeb at the Ranch. Good morning to you, and we're brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. And if you're getting ready for a road trip, don't forget, stop in, check out all the tire buys for you. And also some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, and of course they're located at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Stop in and give them a call today. Great folks. We're going to be having our Cassia County School Days momentarily, but I also want to remind you I've got some other things here that I have to take care of, including talking about a good friend of mine, and that is Anthony over at Save on Shelves. You know, when I advertise for a business on this program, I really believe in their business, and I do business with them. Absolutely. I bought a brand new camper shell from Anthony, and it's one of those ARE camper shells, the best and top of the line. Oh, yes, the service was absolutely outstanding. Anthony really cares. All you need to do is stop by or give him a call at 1027 Overland in Burley, Save on Shells, and the number to call, 312-1525. I'll repeat that, 312-1525. Save on Shells in Burley. You get a hold of Anthony today. Let's take a look here, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about a sale that's coming up in just a little bit. That's going to be with management of the Bennett Boys Auction Service. But right now, we are going to head for our guest on Cassia County School Days, and we are very, very appreciative. Debbie Critchfield puts everything together for us every week on our guests that we have on this segment. And I want to say thank you to her. And our main advertiser right now for Cassia County School Days is A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley. I mean, so much for the whole family, whether it's the games, the puzzles, the toys, the baby furniture, the clothing. I mean, the list goes on and on. And by the way, all your school clothes right there at A Child's World. So I urge you to stop in and see them today, A Child's World in Burley, 1308 Overland. They've been with us ever since we started this program segment, and we really appreciate them. A Child's World. Right now, let's go to the phone line, and we have the brand new district nurse for Cassia County Schools, and her name is Lori Stimson. Good morning, Lori. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing great.
Well, tell us a little bit about you, your job, what you came from, what you did before. Give us a thumbnail sketch.
Okay, well, I've been a nurse for quite a few years. I originally started in Pocatello in labor and delivery and nursery, and then we moved back to the Burley area. I grew up in the Minicaja area, and when my husband finished school, we moved back, and I worked for Dr. Jepson, an OBGYN doctor, for about 10 years, and then I went to Minidoka School District and worked with them for quite a few years, and then I worked at Cassia Hospital in the ER for a little bit, and then Family Practice Work Med Clinic, and then I decided I missed school nursing tremendously and the kids and the parents, and so last January I started back at Cassia School District to be a district nurse, and so I probably worked in school nursing about 15 or 16 years.
Let me ask you this. What is it about being a school nurse that draws you back? I mean, what's a day in the life of Lori Stimson as a school nurse?
Well, mostly making sure that our kids are safe and taken care of at school. We have a lot of kids that now have type 1 diabetes, seizure disorders, tube feedings, and so we oversee those students and make sure that they have staff there to help take care of them. We do vision screening programs, health education programs, get involved with parents and students, and so that's what I truly love and missed and brought me back into school nursing.
You know, Lori, let me ask you this question. Do you think that parents and the general public really know and appreciate what you do?
I don't know if they do. Definitely the parents that we work with one-on-one, that their kids have higher health needs because, you know, for the most part, kids are healthy and active. But as I said, the kids that are diabetic or have seizure disorder or need medication at school, those parents definitely know what a school nurse does. And so I don't think that the general public understands that we have kids that have tube feedings, have daily medications. If they are diabetic and eat lunch, they need to get their insulin shots. And so, you know, back years ago when I first started in school nursing, people said, "Oh, how fun, you get to put Band-Aids on boo-boos." But it's really grown with the health needs of students and that sort of thing.
I agree. Lori, I understand from talking to Debbie Critchfield that you have 7 tips for parents as they get ready for the new school year. Let's go through and itemize each one.
Okay. First of all, hand washing is one of the most important tips. And according to, like, the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, Mayo Clinic, the most effective way to avoid the spread of germs and illnesses is through hand washing. Mm-hmm. And using soap and water is the best thing. Hand sanitizers will do. but just making sure you have good hand washing, cough or sneeze into your elbow instead of your hands. That's one of the main tips for the prevent of illnesses in school.
Yeah, but it's easy to say, though, Lori, but how do you go about teaching and preaching this to the kids so that it'll eventually sink in and they'll do it?
We have a lot of fun programs that we actually go into the classroom and show videos and show proper hand washing techniques. And then we also have like a black light and fake germs, and so we show how germs are spread on pencils, glue, notebooks, desktops. And so when the kids actually see the visuals when we turn off the lights and show them with the black light where the germs are, it's quite an eye-opener.
Okay.
And so the kids that way, and we try to teach them when they're young to get these good habits so that they are washing their hands properly.
Absolutely. Okay, tip number 2.
Shots or vaccinations. It's very important. We know that these vaccines prevent childhood illnesses and diseases, and years ago some of these took the lives of many people. And we know today that vaccines in the United States are very safe and effective. And so it's important that they schedule an appointment with their physician or the health department to get vaccinated.
You know, Lori, I'm going to tell you, I've talked about this on the program with other people, and I'm glad you're an advocate of vaccinations. I get so upset and really, truly mad when I hear parents say, well, we don't have to have them vaccinated because those diseases aren't around anymore. They're making headway in other countries, foreign countries, coming back. Poliomyelitis is one of them. I know because I'm a victim of it. And when I hear parents say that they're not going to get their kids vaccinated, I get fighting mad.
Well, and I share your belief. The medical profession and the Pediatric Association, all of us believe in the vaccines. And I don't know how much you're aware of. A couple years ago, there was an outbreak of the measles in Queensland, in California, and it actually spread to a couple other states, and there was a death in the state of Washington due to measles. And you don't see measles, and you don't see polio, and you don't see those because the majority of our kids are vaccinated, and we do have parents that still don't want to do that, and it is everybody's choice, but they are proven to be safe and better for your kids than they used to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Point number 3, tip number 3.
Schedule a checkup with your physician. Make sure your child is healthy and they don't have any health issues before coming back to school. A lot of kids like to participate in sports, and so we want to make sure that they don't have any underlying health condition, that they'd be playing football or basketball or volleyball and collapse because of an unknown heart condition or something like that. So get in to get a checkup with your physician.
You know, Lori, let me interrupt you right there and ask you a question. Don't you think it's a good advice for parents to every year make it a point, I don't care from age 1 all the way on, as long as they're in the fold of the family, every year just get a checkup? It's absolutely a necessity.
For sure, it is. And we all have our, the newborns that go for well child or well baby checks. That first year of life, we're taking them to the doctor constantly. But I think everybody, even adults, should go in and have annual exams by their physician
Absolutely.
to make sure that they're healthy and get blood work done if they need it.
Absolutely.
And with the physician's exam, eye exams are important because 80% of our learning is through your eyes and vision. And so we want kids to get eye exams. And as a school nurse, that's one of my big programs is checking kids' visions at the beginning of the school year.
Okay, now I've only got limited time, so let's go to point number 4.
Nutrition. Make sure your child eats healthy, well-balanced diet. Make sure that they eat breakfast, especially in our schools. We're fortunate enough in Cassia County that our schools do offer breakfast to our students. And so if they can't eat at home breakfast or they're late, make sure that they get that first meal of the day. That eliminates them coming to the sick room. It helps them focus more in class. So nutrition is a huge thing to help your kid survive the school day.
Absolutely. Tip number 5. Tip number 5.
Routines. Get them in a routine of going to bed early. Decrease screen time, computer time, video games. Get them back in a learning mode. They've had a carefree, fun summer, but we need to get them into routines, and that decreases their anxiety and stress and tiredness when they get back to school.
Lori, I maintain, and again, tell me if you think I'm wrong, I've got big shoulders, we have created a Frankenstein monster with these kids, with the internet and the smartphones and the computers and everything, and I maintain that we've got to get back to more regimented physical activity. Your thoughts?
I believe in that 100%. Raising kids these days, my youngest is into texting instead of talking. And, I'm old school where it's like pick up the phone and call somebody. The kids, they don't know sometimes how to have a conversation, but physical activity, too, is super important. They need to get out and do things, and I think where they have video games or their phones, they are on that, and physical activity is a huge part of your health and wellness.
Tip number 6.
Allergens. We have lots of allergens and smoke in the air, so kids are going to come back to school with runny nose, sneezing, coughing. So just kind of monitor that. Get them into the doctor if they need allergy medication. If they have asthma and need inhalers, we need to make sure that they have those at school. And just coming back to classrooms where they're exposed to different allergens, and so we want to make sure our students are safe with Benadryl, EpiPens, especially if they have food allergies.
Okay, and tip number 7.
Head lice, and I know when you talk about head lice, it's one of the things that, everybody cringes or starts to scratch their head when you start to talk about it. But head lice is something that just happens. Head lice, they're not dangerous. They're a nuisance. So just kind of keep an eye for that. Stress the importance of not sharing combs, hats, and clothes. They're only transmitted by direct contact. They don't jump or fly. And so if your child does get it, please take care of it in the home. We have instructions and information stuff to help parents with that.
How does this outbreak of head lice, how does it start? What's the origination? I mean, you hear stories every year about certain schools, and not just elementary schools, etc. How in the world does it originate in the first place?
Well, and I don't know the answer to that, but I just know that once kids get it, if it's not treated properly, if they share helmets for baseball or softball, if they share hats, combs, that's how you get it. And so once you have it, you have to properly treat it. They do have over-the-counter medication along with prescription medication. So if you can't, get the over-the-counter medication to work, sometimes you have to contact your doctor's office and get the prescription. But there's the treating of your home, too, washing your bed linen, vacuuming. It's a big nuisance, but it can be taken care of. And so we try to encourage avoidance of sharing combs and things like that.
Yeah. Lori, let me ask you this. I'm almost out of time. I got about 45 seconds left. If people have questions or they want to make a comment or they want to find out more about you and your job as a district nurse, is there a place, number, et cetera, they can call?
Yes, we can have them call the district office, and then they can give them my phone number.
Okay. Lori, I welcome you to this job, and I certainly hope that you will be amenable to coming back on this program on future dates so that we can discuss more of this.
Yes, I would love to do that. It's been awesome talking to you, and I'm excited to start the school year off.
Ladies and gentlemen, District Nurse Lori Stimpson, a very nice lady, and I appreciate the information this morning, Lori. God bless. Have a good day. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. There is a nice lady, a very sharp lady, and I'm glad to have her on this program. Let's see, what else have I got? I got to tell you real quick about what's going on with the Bennett Boys Auction Service. They've got the Ling Living Estate Auction this Saturday at 11 o'clock on August 18th. It's going to be in Twin Falls at 1088 Park Meadows Drive. Write that down, 1088 Park Meadows Drive. Excellent shop equipment, tools and supplies, drill presses, router and table. They've got sporting items. They've got reloading equipment. They've got furniture like an antique oak dining table. They've got household items, lots of lamps and kitchen appliances, antiques and glassware, all of this and more at the Ling Living Estate Auction this Saturday, coming up on the 18th, and it's in Twin, located at 1088 Park Meadows Drive in Twin Falls. Managed by the Bennett Boys Auction Service. Joe Bennett and the crew, 539-0111. The Bennett Boys Auction Service. No sale too big, no sale too small. The Bennett Boys, they sell them all. Right now, let's go to the phone line. And with us this morning for our business salute, we've got Joe with Western Waste. Joe, good morning to you.
Good morning, Zeb. How are you?
I'm not too bad. What's going on for the summer months over at Western Waste? Are you kind of just kicking back your heels up on the desk, or are you really working hard?
No, we are definitely busy. We got several fairs going on right now, Gooding County, Cassia County fairs going on, so we got garbage and portable toilets out there. Harvest is right around the corner. We do have a bunch of harvests going on now, so if anybody's looking or never had a toilet for harvest, definitely give us a call and get you on the list so we can get you a porta potty out there for your harvest.
You know, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I've been saying on the program that whether it's maybe a late August reunion or a class reunion or a company party or a company gathering, the porta potties, but you bring up an excellent point, because harvest is started already. We're going to be in the potatoes pretty quick, and then the sugar beets. Boy, I don't know how you serve everybody with all those porta potties.
Yeah, we definitely got lots out. We're pretty fortunate this year. We've added a couple new trucks to our route and more drivers, and we bought plenty of new toilets. So especially if you got that company party, end of the year summer party or a family reunion or a class reunion, like you said, we got plenty of brand new toilets available for people, and we also have plenty of brand new toilets ready for harvest. And it's just a simple call, 208-734-6969. And we can get you on the list and get you a toilet out.
Let me ask you, and I had a caller here about 3 weeks ago ask me about this. What about the physically challenged handicap access porta toilets? Do you have those?
Yes, we do have plenty of the ADA units is what they're called, and they're nice. We bought, I think, 5 extra ones this year, so we got, I believe, a couple dozen of them now in our inventory, and we can bring those out, and we set them up for you, and we find a nice level spot so it's easily accessible for a wheelchair, and we definitely provide those. We put quite a few of them out.
Joe, what about the opportunity for somebody like myself that's going to be doing a whole bunch of pitching and throwing, cleaning up things in my office, maybe cleaning out the garage, the basement, etc., and they need a dumpster? What about the dumpsters? Are they coming in various sizes?
Yes, we offer a 3-yard, 6-yard dumpster for smaller projects. If you're doing a big project, we have the 30 cubic yard roll-offs, which are 22 feet long, 8 foot wide with 6 foot walls. So if you have a farm or a place where you want to do a lot of cleanup, we definitely recommend that. But if you're just doing some simple cleanup of an office or a small place, we offer the 3-yard, the 6-yard front load dumpster. You can bring those out. It's an on-call basis where you call me when it's full, we come by and dump it, and once you're all done, we dump and remove it, and your place is cleaned up for you.
And another thing, too, that I wanted to mention about is you do also have the Go Mini storage units. Now, I want you to quickly explain how people can take advantage of those storage units.
So, once again, just call us at our office, the 734-6969. We offer 3 different sizes in Go Minis. We have a 12-foot, a 16-foot, and a 20-foot. They're all 8 foot wide, 8 foot tall. They just vary in length. We can bring that over to you. You can store your stuff on your property if you'd like, or we also offer on-site storage here in Jerome at our office. So if you got space requirements where you don't have a lot of space, you fill the Go Mini up, we'll bring it here to our property, store it for you. If you would like it back, we can take it back. Or if you're moving, say, from Twin Falls to Burley, we can drop a unit off at your house in Twin. You fill it when you're ready. We'll take it to your new place, drop it right in front of your house, and you can move all your stuff right into your new house.
All right, Joe. And finally, I want to talk about the excellent service, and I mean that, the excellent service of getting people's garbage on a weekly basis on the route service. How do people go about getting on the route service?
Yep, same thing. Give us a call, the 208-734-6969 number. We service all 6 counties in the valley here. You give us a call, we'll get you a competitive rate. We'll find out what route you're on, tell you what day it is. All of our guys are excellent drivers. If there's any messes or anything, or if you happen to forget your trash, we'll run up there and get it for you. And just a simple call will take care of it. If you do have like a long driveway or you don't think a truck can get in there, once again, call the office. I'll personally come out to your place and take a look and get you the best system, the best place possible to get it picked up for you. And we take care of all the customers' needs. And definitely want to thank everybody in the Mini-Cassia area for all the business we've had over the years. And, we look forward to more business.
Joe, you do a great job. What is your official title? I mean, man, you must be making a ton of money as whatever you do because you do a good job. What do they call you?
I am the sales manager for the company, so I deal with all the sales stuff. I deal with cities. I go out and look at people's properties to see, what kind of dumpster you need, what material can go in. So I do a little bit of everything.
Well, I'm impressed, and I've been very appreciative of the fact that Western Waste Services has been on my program for a long, long time. The number to call, 734-6969. They are always at your disposal. Joe, God bless you, man. Good job this morning.
Thank you, Zeb. God bless you.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Really, really good folks at Western Waste Services, and we appreciate them. We are going to send this back over to our main studios now for about 3 minutes, and we'll be back with more with the Car Coach right after this.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb.
I'm going to get right to it. I want to introduce a lady that absolutely knows more about the automobile industry than anybody I've ever met in my life. And I'm very blessed to have her back on this program. I say good morning to the Car Coach. Lauren Fix, how are you?
Hi, Zeb. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me back.
I was amazed when I had you on a couple of times previous as to your vast knowledge about cars and gasoline and the problems with automobiles and ethanol and everything. So I'm going to go right down to kind of a list I've made up this morning. Recently, I've noticed, Lauren, on television, there is a big concentrated effort to play ads about buying, purchasing, and owning electric cars. They just won't give up, will they?
They will not give up. That is money that is fine. This is interesting. How did they get the money to pay for this fund? Well, part of it is from Volkswagen because of their penalty for the diesel situation where they lied. So that some of that money. The other thing is when they bill manufacturers for not meeting corporate average fuel economy, they pay a fine to the EPA, and the EPA uses that money for electrifying America. But that's great unless you live in Laramie, Wyoming, Boise, Idaho, Buffalo, New York, where we have no charging stations. There is some in people's homes in a couple of locations, but sometimes there's always a Tesla or a Nissan Leaf parked there. So it would make no sense if there's 3 stations. It wouldn't work.
Right. Now, let me ask you this question. With the push for electric cars, and nobody would know this better than you would, Lauren, but I've been at various locations around the United States that have had some of the charging stations like you're asking, but what's the longevity, what's the distance, what's the safety and security, if any, of owning an electric car?
Well, there's a lot of things in that question. First off, if you want to buy one, you can. They're available, no matter whether they change the EPA standards or not. But there's some things you should know. One, you're going to be limited by the distance. And a perfect example is a friend of mine asked him about buying an electric car, and I gave them all the pluses and minuses, and they purchased one anyhow. Well, they happened to live outside of Chicago, and they had to run an errand. And because it was warm outside, because they've had that 90-degree day, well, hot and cold reduces the life of a battery. You know that if you ever touch a battery, it's really warm, or if it's really cold, it sucks the life out of the battery. Well, they got in the car, they got it about 3 miles, and it died.
Oh, no.
No charging stations, no place, you can't tow it anywhere, so they had to have it towed back to their home, which cost them a lot of money. And then she called me and said, you're right, there's nothing like getting a gallon of gas from a tow truck driver to get you to where you need to be versus flatbedding at home and costing them a couple $100. I mean, so there are some limitations from that perspective. There's not everywhere you can charge. Charging is not free. Electricity is not free. And then to look on the environmental side, where people say, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, you should note that in every single car battery that's being made that is an electric vehicle, there is cobalt in it. Cobalt is a rare earth mineral. We've discussed this before. And where does it come from? The Congo and China. And who owns all those mines? We don't mine them here because it's so hazardous to the environment and to the people that are mining it, is China. Well, they're not our friend. So what other products do we need that are all owned by China? There's a product that's required in all these big batteries called neodymium. Again, it's another rare earth mineral. And, again, who owns all the mines for that? That's an easy answer. China. So when you start looking at this, you're thinking, do we want to be beholden to the Middle East, who we're now becoming kind of friends with and working things out? Or do we want to go to China, who's really not our friend, and their goal is to be the number one superpower in the world? So you kind of have to think, we were just yelling just the other day at Germany, why are you getting natural gas from Russia? They're your enemy. Well, we're doing the same thing with China. Why are we getting rare earth minerals to power our vehicles and force consumers to buy this when China may not be our enemy, but they're certainly not our friend?
Lauren, you and I...
Keep that in mind. And then my favorite part is at the end, when all these vehicles are driven and they're no longer useful, we've used the batteries for everything, those batteries cannot be recycled because cobalt causes cobalt lung. It's a very dangerous thing. If you're just exposed to cobalt, it will kill you in a short period of time.
Oh, my.
And sadly, that same material is in solar panels. So we have to keep in mind that while this may sound great on the surface, we are absolutely putting the cart before the horse.
You know, and you and I have talked about electric cars and the electric grid on past programs. I would like you to go into that again because I have maintained, and you agreed with me, that with the excess amount of cars now adding to the problem of not enough electricity, how in the world are our electric grids, as they are today, going to sustain more pressure from electric cars?
Well, it's funny because California wants to do that. They don't want nuclear power. They don't want coal. All they want is electric. Well, you can't get it off of wind and solar. No matter how beautiful California is, there is not enough electric and solar power to support the whole grid. I was just there literally yesterday, and they're already telling you, if you're not going to use air conditioning, shut it off. Don't use electricity. Try not to water your yard. So they're having shortages on everything that uses electricity, but they want you to plug in your car. So again, they're not looking at the grid that hasn't been updated since Nikola Tesla originally developed alternating current. And many cities are actually having problems. There's a little city in Michigan, a friend of mine lives in it. It's actually not that little, it's called Plymouth. Well, somebody on one of the streets plugged in their vehicle and 2 other people did at night. It killed the power generator for that area.
Oh, my.
So Con Ed came out, and my friend is a journalist, went down to have a chat with them and asked him why. And guess what? It came up that the generators and the grid cannot support all those electric vehicles.
Oh, my goodness. We have a caller with a question quickly. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead for the car coach.
Let me tell you, I knew about these batteries. There's nothing environmentally friendly about a battery for a car or any battery, and especially car batteries, it seems, and what it takes to build them, and then there's no disposing of them properly. There's nothing good about any of this. Environmentalists either don't care to know the truth, or they know the truth and they ignore it because, it's always about an agenda. And you say to yourself, if people knew better and they took the time to know, they wouldn't believe anything out of these people's mouths. But you see, it's just like, Marx said, there's useful idiots, and there seems to be more and more of them every day. And then you've got people coming from other countries who aren't aware of anything. They're just here to try to make a living or rob us of our welfare. And we're just heading towards we got the foot to the gas floor, and we're headed towards the canyon rim, and we're texting. I'll hang up.
And Lauren, explain to me.
No, I have to say, thank you. That was like, wow.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I've been saying.
Lauren, let's talk a little bit about the environmental movement. Where are they? Why aren't they jumping on the bandwagon and saying, wait a minute, well, what are we going to do with these batteries? How are we going to get rid of them? What about the danger factor? Where are these big-mouth environmentalists?
Yeah, well, let me tell you, the danger factor is something we didn't get to. You look at a Tesla, and they're just the lady who was on, I forgot the name of the show, she was an actress, and her husband had parked their Tesla Model S outside, went inside to get a coffee, and the car caught fire. And the reason is these battery cells are packed in areas that are cooled with ethylene glycol, which is flammable. So as it gets really hot, it actually causes it to catch fire, and the ethylene glycol that heats up the next cell to it, and then each cell takes off. So yes, they'll put out the fire, but the fire comes back for almost 3 days.
Oh my!
It's a chemical chain reaction. And the thing is, you talk to these environmentalists about this, and they hear you. And I have a friend who just ordered a Model 3, and I swear I tried everything I could to convince this person not to order an electric vehicle. They think it's cool technology. They think it's the next iPhone. They think he's the next Steve Jobs. They love the concept. And the concept is absolutely skewed. And 10 years from now, you and I are going to be on the radio, Zeb, and you're going to be like, what are we going to do with all these batteries? And this is going to be a serious problem because there is no solution. And I've been saying there is no solution since they came out, which is about 8 to 10 years ago. Actually, they've been doing battery-powered vehicles since 1916, but on a regular mass production basis. And we still don't have an answer. And everyone says there's going to be one, but there isn't one because no one wants to handle the cobalt, the neodymium, and all these negative rare earth minerals that kill people. So we're not going to do it here in the U.S. You're not going to send it to the moon. What are we going to do with it?
Absolutely.
And that's a massive problem that is going to build up. And if nothing to do, go look up solar panel salvage yards and look at the videos, and you'll see piles of them from solar panels that were replaced because a bird hit it or a stone or it failed to work, and they can't do anything with those either. So we're going to end up with a pile of car batteries, big car batteries from these electric vehicles, in addition to solar panels down the road, which means it's very short-sighted. There are lots of solutions, and this is not one of them.
And I'm going to jump on another topic right now, Lauren, because I'm at a lack of time, and I really want to pick your brain on a subject that makes me mad, and that's the proposed increases of ethanol in our gasoline. It's destroying small engines. I am a person that just went through a problem like that. Why in the world are they trying to increase more of a percentage of ethanol in our gasoline?
Politics, my friend. It's politics. Because the farmers, who I love, like you do, because they bring us food, some of them are having trouble selling their products internationally. Like you're looking at the tariff situation going on into Canada, sending milk across the border. They put a high tariff on it, or shipping soybeans to other countries. So to compensate for this, if you turn corn into ethanol, the farmers have something to grow that they can sell, and it's great for them. But it's not great for the masses. What happens is ethanol is highly corrosive. It destroys what they call mass airflow sensors, which has to do with the air-fuel mixture in anything, whether it be a weed whacker, a snowmobile, a motorcycle, a car, whatever it might be. That ethanol at 10% very much destroys cars. But if they want to increase it to 15 and 20%, now the people that are, of course, part of the political push groups, they're saying, oh, it doesn't bother it at all. But as someone who's an engineer, and I've worked on cars for well over 30 years, I will tell you the damage that it causes. It eats rubber seals and gaskets, and it leaves consumers with the bill.
Yep.
No one's going to come and pay your car bill when you have a problem. How much was your damage to your vehicle?
Mine was the case of an ATV.
Yeah, how much damage was there?
Well, it's continuing. We had to switch everything because we were warned that if we kept using the ethanol-based gasoline, it was going to deteriorate all of our ATVs and also our lawnmowers. And so we've been running around trying to find gas that still is gas, and that's increasingly a problem. What's it like back there in New York right now?
It depends. I'm out in the suburbs. I'm in Buffalo, but there is a website, Zero Ethanol, If you look it up, just put into your search engine, you'll find it. Gas Buddy, I think, also might list the zero ethanol station. The other option is you can buy products. I don't have the name, but I think Stable makes one of them. It's an ethanol stabilizer because ethanol separates. That's the big problem. If it sits in a lawnmower, you're not using your lawnmower every day. You're not using your ATV every single day.
No.
Right, but the fact is the ethanol separates. It's heavy. It sits at the bottom of the tank, and all the pickups for the fuel feeds are at the bottom of the tank. So it gets all gummed up, and what your engine's taking in from the fuel feed is pure ethanol, which destroys the engine. And then when it finally gets down to the gasoline that's left because it's been sitting, that gasoline has a lower octane rating because the difference is being made up by ethanol when it's blended. And that lower octane rating then causes detonation, which causes engine problems, emissions problems, and you're actually polluting the environment at that point. So this does not make sense. I'd look for an ethanol stabilizer in your case. Just follow the directions. A lot of manufacturers make it. I think there's like a Hot Shot Secret, there's Chevron, a Techron product. There's a lot of it out there. Or find the zero ethanol fuel. It's really bad on boats and on airplanes, and this is a big problem with avgas. So a lot of people are very concerned about this. I don't want to be in an airplane that's got a air-fuel mixture problem because you're not going to be up in the air very long.
Absolutely.
You have to think about down the road. Are you willing to give that up for what? So a politician can get reelected.
Yeah,
that's a big problem. Just like the holding of the EPA regulations at 34.5. They want everyone to go to 55 because they want to push you toward electric vehicles. Listen, the average car on the road is 14 years old. The last thing people are going to do is sell their car that's been running fine because they're forced to buy an electric vehicle where the insurance rates are higher in order to have an electric car because the government's mandating it.
Yeah.
And so this is a big problem. And so freezing those freezing the fuel economy standards at 34.5 is one of the smartest things the president can do because it helps save you money, keep safer cars on the road because they got to go 55 miles to the gallon. They're lighter and they're less safe.
Absolutely.
Safe cars, we want people to be safe on the roads, and we want to get rid of that ethanol.
Let me ask you one final question this morning, and I'm going to really show some ignorance on this issue because I don't know. I just recently bought a new pickup, and it requires the DEF fluid added on occasion. Why did this have to happen? Is this another one of those environmental twists that we have to add this to our fuel? Explain that to me.
All right, first DEF or DEF is urea, and that's only on diesel vehicles. So you bought a diesel pickup truck. I have diesel SUVs, and I'm a big fan of diesel. 700 miles on a tank, 34 miles to the gallon. I can drive 80 miles an hour all day long, and I'm driving a mid-size SUV, and it meets my needs. And I'm not getting rid of it. Now, the reason that they put the blue or urea or DEF into the tanks, it's a secondary tank. The dealers usually fill it up at no charge for you, but the reason it's there is it reduces the emissions that come out the tailpipe. That was the only way they were going to be able to meet the emission standards of the current EPA by putting urea into the fuel into the exhaust line. Now, the reason that Volkswagen got in trouble with their little 2-liter diesels is they overpromised and underdelivered. They said, we can make a diesel that doesn't need DEF and meets the standards, and it didn't, and they lied and they tricked the system. So that kind of hurt diesel as a whole. But the fact is, diesel vehicles are available. Even Hyundai and Kia and Mazda are offering diesels coming up in the next year. So there are going to be a lot of choices.
Lauren, all I can say is that you are the best. I sit here in awe and amazement at your knowledge. The car coach, Lauren Fix, God bless you. Please come back soon. I'd look forward to it. Thank you. God bless. Take care. Thank you.
You too.
That lady is wonderful, and I learn a lot from her. The car coach, Lauren Fix, back in New York State. Thank you very much. Wow, we got to get a weather forecast on here right now, and the weather brought to you by Scarro's Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. Don Scarrow and his entire crew serving you. Now, here's the telephone number, 324-7657, or you can go to their website, scarrowsmeats.com. Oh, it's still barbecue season. Yeah, buddy, let me tell you. They've got marinated pork ribs for only $1.99 per pound, and they've got different barbecue packages, you know, beef, pork, and chicken, and oh my golly, tri-tips, delicious. You're going to love it. Scarro's Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome, 324-7657. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Here's Here's a look at your weather for this Thursday for Zeb at the Ranch, and it's going to be smoky for today, sunny and hot. We are expecting a high of 91. Tonight we're expecting some isolated showers and or thunderstorms. It's going to be smoky as well. Mostly clear skies with a low right near 58. Winds out of the southwest right around 11 miles an hour, but those winds could gust as high as 24 miles an hour, which is also putting us into a fire weather watch, especially for Friday. We are expecting a 40% chance of showers and most likely thunderstorms by tomorrow afternoon. Areas of smoke, mostly sunny skies with a high of 87. For Friday night, looks like a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Going to be windy as well. Gusts as high as 25 miles an hour, and we're expecting a low of 54. So fingers crossed we get some rain showers so we can help out those firefighters. That's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
And I appreciate it. Thank you, Gina. And the weather brought to you by Scarrows Meats. Don Scarrow, I got to get Don to come by someday and maybe bring some bratwurst. Oh, delicious bratwurst. They've got it all over there. Great people, great meats at Scarrows Meats. 331 North Road, Jerome. And it's true. They are changing the way we eat one delicious bite at a time at Scarrows Meats. Wow, it's been a fun week, and I urge you to participate in all the fun that they're having over at the Cassia County Fair and Rodeo. I'll give you a quick rundown again today, Thursday. This afternoon, of course, the carnival at 1 o'clock opens up, and then entertainment on the free stage. Tonight, the first performance of the PRCA Rodeo. We talked to my good friend, John Payne, the one-armed bandit. He's going to be the specialty act. That rodeo continues Friday night and Saturday night. And don't forget on Saturday, I want to run this by you again. At 7 o'clock in the morning, they're going to have the 4-H buyers breakfast. And then at 8, the 4-H and FFA market animal sales. So be a part of that. And just a lot of fun. A lot of work has gone into giving you and helping you enjoy the fun at your Cassia County Fair and Rodeo. I want to thank our major sponsor. They have been absolutely phenomenal to work with over the years, and that's, of course, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you. And there may be, whatever school district you go to, some time to maybe take the kids on a little road trip. And if you're leaving town, make sure you drive safe. Check your tires. And if you need new tires, boy, they are road trip ready for all the tires you need for your car, your pickup, your SUV, many of which are on sale. So check that out today at all 7 locations. And don't forget, too, they give you a free pre-trip safety check, and checking the air in your tires, the brake components, the wheel alignment for tire wear, front end components, shocks and struts, battery, including a load test. They want you to get where you're going, turn around, and come back safely. Stop in and see Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy, my old buddy on Overland in Burley, the best. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Next week, we've got a really full plate of excellent guests. On Monday, we're going to have the great Richard Manning, political analyst back in D.C., along with Dan Perkins in Florida, and we've got Dr. Michael Bustler coming on the program along with John Tamney. Woo! We have got a full slate of top-notch people coming on from all over the country this next week, so don't miss a minute of it. We're very thankful to be here on KBAR 1230 AM, and then also streaming live all over the United States on ZebBell.com. And I want to stress the fact that if you'd like to receive my weekly blog, go to ZebBell.com. Click on your address and everything. We'll get it to you, cow pies and coffee cups. And we'll look forward to having you join us on a weekly basis with that blog. We are going to let it go for this week, and we want to urge you and your family to have a lot of fun at the Cassia County Fair. And we'll see you next Monday morning at 8:06 for Zeb at the Ranch. We'll ride the horse for 3 hours till 11, where we always say the way things were are the way things ought to be. And the world needs more cowboys. Have a great day.